Welcome back. Welcome to Part. No, it's been a long time, but I'm back. I'm back at it. For those of you who don't know, this is Part Post Addiction Recovery and Transitioning. I'm your host, Ms. K. I used to be an addict. I'm coming up on 3 years sober. Yay! So I am excited to get with some of you all who are battling addiction. That was the purpose of me creating this podcast, was to help others that are battling addiction or trying to overcome it, or who have overcome it, who can help others to try to get into that same circumstance. So I took a little break. I had some things to take care of personally, but I'm back on it. I'm back at it. And I promise you, I'm going to stay consistent this time. Not letting anything stop me, because there's so many of you all who could use the help, and you all can help me in many ways. I know you don't believe that, but any knowledge that I gain from anyone is always beneficial to me. I don't care how little you think it is. It's always beneficial to me, and I enjoy gaining knowledge. That's one thing about me you'll learn. So I'm excited to be back on. I'm excited to share my love with the world and reach as many people as possible and help heal this world that is hurting and broken in many different ways. So I'm excited to be back. So today's topic is New Year, New You, or old addiction. So we already know where that's going. It's a new year. We create these New Year's resolutions. I'm going to be honest with you. I stopped making resolutions years ago. I felt like, number one, I was making these decisions or putting myself in a situation where I was setting myself up for failure. Like, I was making these resolutions where I'm like, okay, this is a timeline. This is a deadline. So I'm starting this at the beginning of the year. And this is what I'm going to do. And we all know what happens. Yeah, January is great. February is all right. March, April, May, we're no longer engaged in what we promised to do all the way back in November, December. So it's something that I decided to, take out of my vocabulary personally. Also, I feel like every day is a good day to make a change. Why do you have to wait till the new year? And I feel like sometimes for myself, I'm just speaking for myself, I was making an excuse to continue to behave in a negative pattern in order to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna change for my New Year's resolution, but it's November, it's the holidays. I'm gonna continue to drink through the holidays. I'm gonna continue to indulge. I'm gonna continue to smoke weed. I'm gonna have my fun and eat what I want and just do whatever I want to do. But New Year's, I'm gonna change my life. And one thing that I've learned over the span of my life isn't guaranteed. So how do you know you have that opportunity to change after New Year's? It's not a guarantee. So why wait till then? To me, it's important to change in a moment while you're actively thinking about it. But we'll get into that in 1 second. So when I came up with this topic, I was thinking about, hey, what was 2022 like for you? And I know I shared a little bit of my situation with you all in the first couple of episodes of the podcast. But for those who don't know, I was heavy drinker, smoking weed. That really was my two vices of choice. And obviously, I would indulge in food because of the addiction that I was taking on. And we all know that if you smoke weed, you're going to eat. It's a given. It's a given. So that was one thing that, I was just doing, was eating a lot of unhealthy things, drinking a lot of alcohol, smoking a lot of weed. And it was a cycle. And that's what I was doing. But my health was fading and I was watching it. And I had put on a ton of weight. Things that affected me. Then I got into a legal issue. I got a DWI. And it was a wake-up call for me. It was like a slap in the face, because I said, first of all, I never expected to get arrested in my life. I was very proud to be the age that I was and never to be arrested, but to get arrested and then, my kids watch that occur. It was extremely embarrassing. It was It was like something I had never, ever predicted. I couldn't imagine it if you drew it up. I couldn't watch it on paper, So it was really a kick in the gut for me. It was a sobering experience. And I decided right then and there, due to the way that Mecklenburg County laws work, like when you get a DWI, you're going to enter into some type of treatment program. And it might not be inpatient, but it might be outpatient therapy, things like that, which was very beneficial for me. I immediately took that opportunity. I mean, it's free therapy. Like, we all need therapy in some way, shape, or form. I don't care who you are. Even therapists need therapy. So to me, it was like, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity. Maybe there's a reason why I'm drinking like this. And, in the midst of my alcoholism, I would always tell myself, oh, I'm drinking like this because I enjoy drinking, which I did. I enjoyed that euphoric feeling that I got from drinking. It was fun. I loved socializing with my friends, but not at the risk of my health. It's never that fun. And the financial burden I put on myself was also something that was like very, very heavy. Like I was spending a lot of money on alcohol. So, it was something to me that was just kind of like mind boggling, but I took advantage of that free therapy. I started to dig deep into myself and learn some things about myself. Things I had buried a long, long time ago from my childhood started to resurface, and I had to face that. And I was okay with facing it. I wanted to put it to bed finally. I was in my mid 30s. And so it was just like, it's time to put this stuff to rest. I'm not going to continue to let these things that came up in my childhood hold me back and restrain me in my adulthood. Like at some point you have to cut the cord, cut the anchor. And so it was a blessing. It was truly a blessing. And I continued through therapy. Even after I had, completed the program, I continued going to therapy, and I slowly but surely got sober. And the next thing you know, the ball went rolling, and I didn't look back after that. I had always prayed and asked God to clear me of alcoholism or any addiction, to be honest with you. And once I told him, I said, give me the memory of the kidneys hurting and the vomiting and the hangovers and all these things. Give me the memory of those things when I'm sober 5 years from now. And I think I'm out of the woods, I'm out of the clear, and I can go back to drinking again. I don't ever want to drink again. Let me just be clear with you all. I will never touch alcohol again, because that is deadly for me. For me, it's something I can't control. It controls me. So I don't even need to go near it. And so it was a situation where I faced my fears. I faced everything that I needed to face, and I just started my healing and my recovery. And it was a blessing. It was such a blessing. So, which fast forwards me to 2022, because this infraction occurred in 2019. So, which fast forwards me to 2022. I was scheduled for court in March 30th. They then postponed it for April 18th for a hearing, pretrial hearing. So at the pretrial hearing, they tell me that my court date is going to be in August. In April, I started a program through Mecklenburg County, a sobriety program, but it's also there to, there's other people who've gotten DWIs in this program, and we're all in the same courtroom. We all, every 2 weeks, meet in the courtroom, and, we talk about, hey, look, how long has it been since you've been sober? It did come with some stiff requirements. I had to wear an alcohol bracelet on my ankle. I think 120 days. I had to wear an alcohol bracelet, which was embarrassing at first. I'm not even gonna lie, going to work, going about in public, and seeing people look at my ankle, or people being like, oh, I know you a thug, or you gangster, you done. And it was just like, you don't even know me. You have no idea who I am. So it was pretty embarrassing. It was a humbling situation to have all eyes on you. I'm not really that kind of person. I enjoy helping others. I like having eyes on me when I'm making people laugh. But other than that, I don't like attention. That's just not me. And so it was very humbling, very, very humbling experience to walk around with an ankle bracelet. And especially as a female, some people would be like, "Oh, I know that bracelet." And I was just like, "What?" Like, people would say that at my job. They're like, "Oh, I know what that is." And it's just like, it was so embarrassing in so many ways. But anyway, I also had to submit to drug testing twice a week, random drug testing. I had to go to therapy, which I told you all about, but this is a different therapy. This was state mandated. And I had to go through a lot of things, a lot of different things to stay in the program. And the benefits of the program is I was facing jail time. And so it would shave off some of my, a significant portion of my jail time. The penalty that I accrued would be anywhere from 30 days to 2 years in jail. Now, mind you, I had never been arrested before in my life. So that'll give you an idea of the trouble I was in. And because I was in this program, that would be broken down to just 10 days. And I could serve it on the weekends, all kind of things like that. So it was a no-brainer for me. But I also wanted growth. I also wanted to, although when I entered the program, I was already sober for 2 years. I just said to myself, I have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. And who knows how I can help others. So I entered the program in April of 2022, and I'm going through the program. And my court date was postponed to August 10th. So August 10th, I meet with my lawyer, and he discusses with me, the defense of the case. Hey, if a certain amount of officers show up, because at my arrest, there were several officers, there were like 5 or 6 of them. And he told me, hey, if a few of them show up, then they have the right to proceed legally. But if only 1 shows up or 2 shows up, then we can't go forward with the case. They would have to dismiss it. So I was excited just hearing those words. And then, I sat in the courtroom waiting patiently. An hour past my time. I was praying. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was praying. And I saw 2 or 3, then 4 officers walk in the courtroom, and my heart sunk. And I was hurting. I was just like, man, this is it. This is it. And so God said, I do not put you through anything that I can't think that you could get out of. And I remember repeating to myself over and over, I don't give you fear. That's a man-made emotion. I don't give you fear. And so I decided to, bear with me 1 second. All right. Sorry. I decided to just continue to pray. And I said to God, don't give me the spirit of fear. Just keep me calm, keep me calm, keep me calm. And when I saw those officers come in, I just knew the writing was on the wall. I was like, oh, it's over for me. And then I just kept saying, it's not over. It's not over. Don't tell yourself that. It's not over. And so court proceeded that day. 3 officers did show up. Excuse me. But amazingly, the 3 officers that showed up were not the ones that pulled me over. They were 3 additional officers who came in to support the situation. Even though the support wasn't needed, I did get pulled over at like late at night. So I know they always call for backup and those type of things. But, I don't want you all to think I was out there acting a fool, getting aggressive, fighting or anything like that. It was nothing like that. I was completely respectful. Even my lawyer was like, you were more well-mannered than most people I know, including myself. He was like, for you to be under the influence of alcohol, I would have never known. He said, you must have been a high functioning alcoholic because you were so calm. You spoke clearly. You were very respectful. You could recite your direction, everything you did that day. You told them over and over the same directions without stumbling, stammering, anything like. So I knew I was a high functioning alcoholic when he showed me my body cam video. I was like, wow, I was a high functioning alcoholic. So anyway, the wrong officer showed up, and basically the state says if the officer who pulled you over isn't here, we have to drop this case. And that's what my lawyer asked for. He said, we got to dismiss the cases. So where's the officer that pulled her over? Because he's got to prove reasonable cause to pull her over. We can't go off a hearsay from this officer or this officer and this officer. And so the judge looked around the courtroom. He said, is the officer here that pulled this young lady over? And he was not present. And so they dismissed my charges. So blissfully, by the grace of God, and I mean a miracle in the state of North Carolina, because North Carolina does not play about DUIs or DWIs. Let me tell you, I know many people with them. They don't play about it. All of my charges were dismissed, every last one of them. And I was just so grateful. I was so stunned. I sat in the chair in the courtroom for a second. Like, my lawyer was like, we can go now. And I'm just like, no, it's over. Like, this is it. You don't understand. I've been dealing with this since 2019. This is now August of 2022. And it's 3 years later, almost. A month later would have been 3 years. Actually, 2 months. So it was like, I've been going through this for such a long time, this court battle. This has been on my mind, and I thought I got sober in that midst of time, and I worked on myself. And even the DA, she stood up and she said, I must admit, I know you've changed, because the person on his body cam doesn't even look like the person that's standing before me today. And I can tell you, I at the time was 140 pounds different than what I was on that video. I had lost 140 pounds just getting off alcohol, not smoking weed, and taking my body seriously, working out consistently, and focusing in on what I put in my body. I just made myself more of a priority. And I thought that I loved myself when I was under the influence, but I really didn't. I thought that taking myself out to liquid lunch was loving myself, and it really wasn't. It was just a masquerade. It really was. So it was such a blessing that day, walking out of the courtroom, knowing that I was free. No more random drug tests, no more monitoring ankle bracelet, no more stop. I'd have to leave work to go do a urine test if my color got called. It was so much. It was very taxing on the brain, and being in therapy 2 to 3 times a week and having to log in and talk to someone. And it was just like, I already have a busy life with 2 children. And so it was a lot. It was a lot. But I'm so grateful for that opportunity. So that was my great news of 2022. I was just like, I'm not looking back at this point. Once you got me out of this, and I use that term carefully. I don't want to say got me out of, because I still live with the fact that I did that, or those events are still in my head. That'll always be with me to the day I die, because my conscience always gets the best of me. I don't like harming others or doing anything to others, or even doing anything wrong. I don't like that. That's just not who I am. So it was definitely a blessing. I cry, and it's hard for me to cry, you all. My mother, I called my mom. I'll never forget it. I called my mom, and she answered the phone in tears, like she already knew. And I was like, why are you crying? She's like, I don't know. Tears just started coming down my eyes. She's like, I'm just crying, and I don't know why I'm crying. I was like, oh, okay. I just called to tell you that they dropped all my charges. And she said she just rejoiced in the Lord. So it was truly a blessing, truly, truly a blessing. So, I just want to encourage you all. I know it's hard to get out of this addiction thing. It's definitely not easy. It's definitely not easy, but this is a new year. It's a new opportunity. Every day is a new opportunity. And if you've been battling like I was, trying to figure your way out of the wormhole, and make sure that, once you kick this addiction, that you stay with it, because that kicking the addiction, some people could do that easily, but sticking with it is the hard part. As soon as you face adversity, your body or your brain is like, hey, go smoke that. Yeah. Go get that hit, or go inject that heroin. That'll make you feel better. That'll make you feel better. But it's destroying your body. It's destroying who you are inside. It's taking away a lot of who you are. And so it's an opportunity now to really fight, really try to get rid of this addiction. And anybody who's watched any of my episodes knows I'll tell you, take it second by second, like literally break it down to the smallest molecule you can. Take it second by second, because your brain is thinking, your thoughts are going, and you have to be like, all right, I'm in my thoughts right now. Something's telling me or urging me to go get that drink. And I'm going to tell you, drugs, I'm not a fan of drugs. I've never really been a fan of the harder drugs, because I can physically see what it does to people. And I've known some people like on hard drugs and what it's done to them. So I never really was intrigued with anything really major. But I'm going to be honest with you, people need to fear alcohol more than anything. Alcohol is easily found everywhere you go. And parents are giving it to their teenagers so they could be cool. And they don't know the addiction that they're starting into these children's lives. Like, these are young adolescents who are extremely impressionable. And giving them something like that is just, to me, it could be deadly, because it easily can become an addiction. It can easily become an addiction. So it's just really important to me that I, speak these positive words to you all. Fight that addiction. Fight it as hard as you can. Don't give up. You're gonna fall. You're gonna falter. You're gonna make mistakes, but try your best not to make the same mistakes. If you do end up slipping up and having a drink, that doesn't mean that you go back to drinking full time. Fight again. Quit again. You know how many times I quit before I quit? Like, same thing with cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes in my early 20s. I quit cigarettes so many times before I quit. And you know what I did? I smoked so many back to back intentionally that it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I never picked them up again. And so you got to figure out a way. You know your body better than anyone else. You have to figure out a way to trick your brain, to trick your body, to trick your mind. Do whatever it takes, because I promise you, a sober mind is the best mind to have. I have never been happier, and I've had some great times in my life, but I've never been happier than what I am now, knowing that I can wake up and not have a hangover, knowing that I'm not vomiting half the day because I got so wasted last night, knowing that I didn't gain all this weight, or I didn't choose to eat something like a cheeseburger at 2:00 in the morning because I'm drunk and I need to sober up and I got the munchies and, all kind of things. Like, I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. I promise you I don't. But every day I see people, I work with people who struggle with alcoholism, and it breaks my heart. And I just want to help as many of you all as possible. It's a new year. It's an opportunity for a new you. Kick the old addiction. Kick it. And I don't know about you, but I'm sure some of you all have faced this, where I looked in the mirror one day and God literally spoke to me and said, time is running out for you. If you do not get rid of this addiction, you will die this way. I don't want to die this way. I didn't. And so I took it seriously. I literally said, I'm not going out this way, God. I'm not. And so I strongly suggest you, even if you don't believe in God, I strongly suggest you look in the mirror, take a look and say, hey, I don't want to die this way. I have so much more living to do. I've got so much more potential. I've got so much more to offer this world. And if you don't think you have more to offer this world, think again, because you do. I am really good at seeing the gifts and talents in other people. And if you need 5 seconds alone with me, or you want to email me or text me and hit me up and say, hey, what do you see in me? I'll be glad to tell you, because if I know you, I've seen something positive in you. I seek those type of personalities in people. so that I can better myself. I'll look at someone and be like, oh, wow, this is a great quality they have. I want to build on that. I want to have that quality. I want to be better at that particular attribute. So work at it. Work at it. Do not give up. Please fight. It's the new year. It's the new you. Every day is an opportunity to start again. If you stumble today, start again tomorrow. If you stumble tomorrow, start again the next day. Don't ever give up. I love you. God bless.